We welcome now Mrs. Zampeta Papadodima, one of our core users in SONETOR from Athens.
Okay, good evening. Here. Okay. Now? Okay. Thank you for the invitation. I think that all experiences we shared here are really important, especially when we are talking about the migration panorama, no? Of what's happening in the worldwide. So if we want to start planning some activities or even academic programs and more social services or services that had to do with culture and mediation, we should consider all the actors that are implementing these kind of programs. And we should see them in the, let me see how this goes. Here, okay. Let's say this is a first categorization of all the actors, of all the institutions and also organizations in all levels that do take part in the discourse of migration. Okay, we see that there is a hierarchical, let's say, order in all of these, but we also would like to, of course, put not only the third sector, but also the autonomous organizations, alliances and networks that are not that formal. Let's say that among all of them, there is first a discourse of migration that we would like to see it also at the regional level, because we think it's more complete. Let's say that a national state today, nowadays, it's not cannot give us all the information we would like, because majority of states and organizations are trying to use international platforms, so to have a better understanding and also intervenes. I think that important, I'm going to have my vision is a search vision. Let's say it's how we talk, how we implement the discourses, especially the think tanks and the academic actors, and how they communicate that with the others, no? Third sector and also the national and governmental infrastructures. So if we are looking at the map of migration worldwide, we can see three examples, three regions that they are its most important debate nowadays. First, because the history of migration in the three regions, but also there's a constant communication between all the actors, the above actors we saw, and also about the politics, because politics is not only what the programs are talking about, but also what is a dialogue that before it was mentioned, also with the society and with the actors. So we have the three big examples of the European Union, the community of North of America and of South of America. We have three different examples. So we see that migration enters in one of the three agendas. We have to also to mention that all these kind of topics are mentioned, but each one has a different perspective, no? Has a different focus on each one of them. Second could be the border management, that it's a big discourse and a lot of programs and discussions about. And the third one are is the human rights. So we can see like the agenda. I don't know. We can see the difference, the marked difference is, I think, in South America, when we have a really powerful law in Argentina. That is the first law worldwide that accepts the right to mobility as a human right, and it goes further from the International Convention of the Human Rights, because it's the first, let's say, instrument that it wants to consider migration as a human right. Meanwhile, in North America, when I say North America, we imply the three countries of Canada, United States, and Mexico, we can see that they are still talking about illegal migration, no? So it would be, it's really interesting how these developments are proceeding. Let's say how also in a local level, the government of Argentina has tried and achieved also to give some new development at the regional level. So the region of Mercosur right now is proceeding with bilateral pacts, so to enforce these kind of amendments and laws at the regional level, first of all for residents, and then also like for the first objective, the first agenda, that would be the social development and the remittances. Okay, let's proceed. So having a geographical vision about migration, it is also important to consider all the places that the actors and also courses are implemented. So we can see this is drawn by a European project that started in 2004 and still keeps on, giving us all the places where we should look about the migration agenda. Are places of mobility, that means that are places where migrants pass and use, and are places of everyday life, that is, are places common for everybody. Then we have the public institutions that also have a big relation with all kinds of services, and of course cultural mediation, and also the border installation. We can see also the zones of influence, the space of influence for each one of the factors. What we would like to say is that we can see how cultural mediation is inserted in one of spaces and how all the spaces are important. Also, this one was clear from all the other experiences shared here, like in schools or public services or even the third sector, that there are a lot of levels where we can meet with migrants, and we have to be prepared, also have specific knowledge to manage situations, even if the conflict or not. So, okay, taking the example here in the south of Europe, there are a lot of projects right now investigating how are the dynamics for the crisis and all the restructuring, the socioeconomic restructuring. I would like to mention that when we do a comparison, it's really interesting that it doesn't matter the evolvement, the development of each one of the regions that are dealing with migrant agenda, but we can notice like a really big percentage of racism and discrimination in each one of them. Let's say Argentina, even if it has, or South America, even if it has like, let's say, progressist agenda of migration, even though we can notice racism and xenophobia in the region of South America. But here in Southern Europe, the most important is the restructuration of the public services. That, of course, it has to do a lot with migrants and all infrastructures that they are there to provide this kind of services. The physical space, like a better or more control of the public spaces, and then all the kind of repercussions that we have in social fabric, let's say demographic or labor, or all this kind of data that let us know how is the situation, the laboral situation, all the educational situation, and all this kind of index of migrants. Now, for the Southern Europe, what we have seen in various projects is that these spaces for migrants are even smaller. Let's say, I don't know if we have, no, I don't have it. Can we go back, please? Okay. Okay. The migrant spaces, that they, let's say, smaller. Migrant today, the last, let's say, till 2008, 2009, with the comments of the restructuration has limited the spaces where the migrants do their practices or can do programs, or all the interest about migration agenda seemed a little bit smaller. This is because, of course, the funds and all this restructuration, not only for the public services, but also for the third sector and NGOs and other institutions involved, but also because it has changed a lot, it has transformed all this kind of social fabric data. Let's say the jobs for the migrants are less, are different, the spaces are different, the same are the entrances of them, and the composition, no? Like we can see more women, we can see various tendencies. Therefore, this is how to say that if we want to respond to these challenges for public spaces and for the service of cultural intermediation, we should try and work with this kind of challenges right now. Now, like Southern Europe has to deal with the same community about this kind of racism and xenophobia that is noted, and also has to move forward, as we are going to see also, about the public services, the restructuration of the public services, to meet the demands of the new tendencies of migrants. That is also because gender is going or is changing, and new forms of migration are entering, no? Like it's the environmental refugees and all this migration caused by factors of the climate. Then the public spaces, all the control that is noted in the Southern Europe has also, yes, one place, it has shrunk the physical spaces where we can meet migrants, and we can see that in the stations of metro and all this kind of public installations. But we can also see what, before it was mentioned also, that there is more initiative from the immigrants to do some, to participate in the programs, form trades and unions, and try to, let's say, to be in charge of their own problems and issues to handle. And that is also why we have to meet the demands nowadays and be alert about what is changing in order to not only to formulate academic programs that is for training and for education, but also to be more consistent when we are trying to implement the intercultural services. That's it. Thank you very much.